Deep within the jungle, a remarkable creature resides. Agile and elusive, it darts between the trees. So swift, it vanishes from sight in the blink of an eye. Capable of reaching speeds of nearly 45 miles per hour, it is a marvel of power and precision. But even the most relentless hunters must pause. Here, we find it at rest, tethered to its lifeline, drawing strength once more.
Big shouts out to David Attenborough. His calming voice brings me back to many altered nights in college, watching nature documentaries. Anyways, mod time. First up, this horrendous stock chain has to go. Enter the RLV Chain. Just $44.99 on Electron Co's website. This will alleviate the horrible sound, stretching, and overall responsiveness over the stock chain. This chain arrives cut to size for the RTR, so all we have to do is pop off the stock chain, pop on the new chain, and we're good to go. No cutting necessary. But we're just gonna need to loosen this. We'll push the wheel a little forward, just like you tension the chain normally, so we can get this on. We're about to put the master clip on. You should always have the master clip going this way in the direction of the chain, so if anything gets caught in it, it doesn't pull the master link off. Again, the rear hoop should face forward on the bike. Just a tip from the mechanic ConnorG. Haha. Yeah, we got it, yeah. I look like Schmeagol right now. All right, so the chain's on. We do just have to tension it, guys. When you tension this, make sure these are even. Do it evenly so the wheel isn't crooked or anything. But not only does this look way better, it's also just a much better chain. So it's not gonna stretch nearly as much. In the first ride, you'll ride it for like 15 minutes. It'll stretch a teeny bit and you'll adjust it accordingly. But other than that, this thing is much better, lasts way longer, is a lot quieter, believe it or not, than the stock chain. And it just is loads better. You should be lubing this technically after every ride. I don't really do that. But you should do as I say, not as I do. But these are small chains and they need some extra care versus like a big motorcycle chain. So just something to keep note, but this is by far the first mod. If I could only do one single mod to this bike, it would be this chain, because otherwise it's just a failure point. But what's next? Next up, wheelie mod. Now, if you know me, you know I've rocked Astroworks Shiftlocks on my last 3 bikes. They rock, help stabilize you in a wheelie, and also elevate your potential for more advanced wheelie tricks. Now, ironically, as some of you may have seen on my RTR, I actually have an old Talaria XXX Shiftlock from Astroworks that I've used on this thing, but we should be able to replace this one as well with the new one that's actually made for the bike. Look at that, ConnorG. It's the little things, truly. Now, mounting this thing is easy as hell. We've got 2 bolts right here that we're literally gonna stick this thing into, and we should be able to mount it. So I'll show you guys real quick. There is a nut on the back of this bolt, so you need to hold it with a 12. 12 on the inside, 10 on the outside. Goodness gracious. All right, we broke it free, but I just want to say that bolt was the most stuck on bolt I've ever seen, but should be coming out now. We still got to get the other one out though. Rip. Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, we got both of the bolts unscrewed. I've got one in there just to hold the stand in place. But if I understand this correctly, I've not read the directions. These should just slide right into here and go back into how they were mounted before. I had this upside down, I realized. You just literally take out these 2 bolts. You can actually see they use these 2 bolts that came supplied. So that's why these 2 bolts are here, to use instead of the stock ones. So now we should be able to get this on. Now these new bolts are longer than the stock ones because the stock ones otherwise won't catch, which I just learned. So you'll still use the stock nut though. With the new hardware installed here, we're just going to go ahead, take the peg, take the supplied screw, stick it through here. This is adjustable, so you can do it either further forward or closer. I prefer closer. And we'll just go ahead and screw this on and tighten the back. Just like that, the shift lock is on. Honestly, that's pretty close. I might even move it to the forward one, but this is just gonna be good for wheelies. People will shift lock like this as well, but she's on. So guys, with both of these new mods added, we're looking at around $100 all in on this bike. Like I said, the absolute first mod I would add would be this chain, and I just wanna move the bike for a second so we can all appreciate how much quieter it is. It's insane, and at speed, it's even better. Responsiveness is way better as well. Shift lock is also on. This is super good for wheelies. We'll test this in a second. But those are ultimately only $100 in mods for this bike that I think make an enormous difference. They're gonna help wheelies, they're gonna help the longevity of the bike, looks cooler, feels better. But what else can you do? If you're looking to spend more than $100, here's a couple options you could add, all of which are interchangeable between the RTR and the RTR Lite. Looking at the two bikes, there's a couple things that stand out. Number one, plastics. The RTR was originally white, but I actually threw on the red plastic. You also notice wheels. I'm rocking the 12-inch Supermoto wheels. Love these so much. They're so freaking good for wheelies, it's crazy. And they just give it such a good little mini moto Supermoto look. We also have bars on the RTR, which these are the high pit bike bars. See a comparison between the low to the high. The high bars just feel a little bit better for a taller rider, and it gives it a more aggressive feel. It's also good for wheelies because they're a little bit taller. I think I'd prefer the look of the low bars, but the feel of the high bars. Brakes. I have the Formula E Moto brakes on the red RTR. These things are crazy good. They're not a cheap brake by any means, but they are quite the upgrade. High torque motor or upgraded controller or battery. I have videos on all of these parts. This is the high torque motor. I run a 72 volt 25 or the 72 volt 45 touring, and then just the stock RTR controller. More power upgrades in the future. Oh yeah, we also have a headlight on the RTR, which is just the standard Electron Co headlight assembly. Only other thing that I already swapped over from the RTR when I ride the RTR Lite is this Thrill Seeker seat cover. Super good investment, great for wheelies, great for trail riding, keeps you on the seat. Isn't exactly the most comfortable, but that's not the point of it. So plenty of upgrade potential on this RTR Lite. But guys, on a separate note, I won't lie, it gets lonely just doing videos by myself out here. I mean, I have two bikes to ride, but just me. Well, luckily someone this color actually going to be coming from the West Coast in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ride this RTR Lite, see how it feels with the upgrades. Only $100, see if it's worth the money. Naturally, of course, it's a rainy day when we decide to ride, but let's hop on this thing and first talk about how this chain feels and sounds. Woo. Already loads better. You're still going to get the sound that you normally get from the chain because it's a direct drive motor, but I personally think it's noticeably quieter. Wow, and it is wet out here. But yeah, I just get a lot more confidence instilled with this chain. Just feels a lot better. And the stock chain just freaking dries up so fast, it's crazy. Hit some off-road. So as far as responsiveness goes, it's way better, but let's see how it wheelies. Oh yeah, it's a lot smoother, feels a lot better. And this is a good time to talk about the Shiftlock. Look at my foot there. It's Shiftlock. Shiftlock is such an underrated mod for wheelies. It's crazy. Woo. It just helps secure you to the seat much better. So this is good just for any normal wheelie, but it's also good if you want to take your hands off because you have something securing you to the bike. Otherwise, you're hooking your foot in front of the pegs and it just doesn't work quite as well. But these are super simple mods, literally just $100 worth of mod that actually I feel like significantly elevate this bike. I think regardless of wheelies, the chain you need to get, especially if you're riding off-road, super important. The Shiftlock though, if you want a wheelie, this is just such an underrated mod. They've gotten super popular as of recent now, but I feel like when Shiftlocks first came out, people were kind of hesitant about them, but very underrated in my opinion. Let's go hit some trails. Woo! Oh damn, they cut this out here. Now it's just a straight path. A little less single track, that's kind of depressing. But yeah, as far as, whoa, off-road, ripping it, it just is gonna feel so much better. So much better. All right, let's get our B-roll shots here now. Yeah, I mean, just ripping back and forth through here, just so much more confidence inspiring. Ripping it with this new chain, I'm just not nearly as worried. Okay. Ow. I just rolled my ankle so fucking hard. Ow. Motherfucker, dude. This shit is so soft. Oh my god, I can't ride. The creature tries to stay hidden from the local Karens. Well, since I can't ride or walk off-road, let's go do some more wheelies and test out this Shiftlock further. This bike just got so dirty today. Woo! I'm glad I don't have to bring this into my apartment anymore. But ready? All stock except a chain and a Shiftlock. Feels good, man. The Shiftlock just secures you so much better. Like I said, even if you're just learning wheelies, a Shiftlock certainly has value. And now, whenever I ride bikes without a Shiftlock, honestly, it makes me nervous. It makes me feel naked. Chick is looking at me like, what the fuck? But yeah, guys, this just shows you don't have to break the bank. You can get some pretty budget-friendly mods. $100, and it seriously upgrades the way this thing feels, the way it sounds, the way it performs.
This is a totally stock RTR Lite otherwise. And having the Shiftlock helps me do those one hands a lot easier. But yeah guys, I teased it earlier, but if you watch this long in the video, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. Offline Red, your favorite local California YouTuber that gets the same bike I have every time I get a bike, is coming to Pennsylvania, baby. We're planning on hosting a ride out. We're planning on doing a bunch of content when he comes. So if you don't watch him, go check out Offline Red. I will link him down in the description, but that should be a ton of fun to get the, to get the homie on the East Coast. Might do a Philly ride, we'll see. And we are just having so much fun on this bike. I've been riding it more than my RTR recently, but we'll change that soon. All right, let's go ice my ankle. Damn, this bike is so dirty now. Good thing we just got a garage. But there you have it, guys. The RLV Chain from Electron Co. Highly recommend it. The Astroworks Shiftlock specific for the RTR and RTR Lite. We'll get the official one on the RTR soon. But yeah, both great mods. Only $100. Use code ConnorG to save. But otherwise, guys, stay tuned because we have some exciting characters coming to the channel soon. But otherwise, guys, road to 100K. Please sub. I would greatly appreciate it. But catch you guys next time. Peace.